Apple introduced its new entry-level MacBook Neo, priced at $599, making it the most affordable laptop Apple has ever sold. Its 8 gigabytes of RAM sparked a heated internet debate on how much RAM one needs, with power users saying that an 8 gigabyte MacBook is only good for use as a browsing device and not much else. The MacBook Neo has an A-series processor similar to the one on the iPhone line of products, with some even suggesting simply getting an iPad with a keyboard as a better deal. Newsflash, it's not a better deal. A similarly priced iPad has a smaller screen, slower processor, and less storage. A worthwhile consideration if you're not invested in Apple product system is a Windows laptop or Chromebook. Gamers and tech enthusiasts tend to advocate for heroic levels of RAM and high-speed processors, which are an overkill for an average computer user who simply wants to work on documents, do presentations, conference meetings, and some internet browsing. How much RAM do you really need? It depends on what you need to do. 4 gigabytes of RAM for basic web browsing, word processing, simple multimedia playback. 8 gigabytes of RAM for everyday computing, web browsing, streaming, office applications, video calls, live photo and graphic editing. 16 gigabytes of RAM, heavy multitasking, creative work such as editing and design, large spreadsheets, running virtual machines. 30 gigabytes of RAM and plus, professional workloads such as video editing, 3D rendering, complex development environments, virtual machines. AI systems have a huge appetite for high-performance memory and storage, contributing to a rise in RAM and SSD prices, and modern machines will ship with more RAM as standard for the AI features. Windows 11 requirements. A standard installation of Windows 11 requires at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, a 1 GHz processor, and around 64 gigabytes of storage. While Windows OS isn't particularly demanding, modern software can be. Applications like Chrome have a reputation for devouring RAM, with each additional tab quietly nibbling away at your available memory. The bottom line? For most people, 8 gigabytes of RAM is perfectly adequate. 16 gigabytes of RAM is comfortable. 32 gigabytes of RAM plus only if you know exactly why you need it. How much RAM does your computer